2:14 a.m. A message drops onto your phone. I never thought you were this kind of person. You look at the screen stunned by the name you see, because that person was someone you trusted deeply, someone you were sure would never lie to you, never do you wrong. You were almost certain of their integrity. But a few minutes later, you learn the truth. And the real shock is this: nothing new has actually happened. You're just seeing it for the first time. This video is about the halo effect, a mechanism in psychology that explains why we trust the wrong people. Based solely on first impressions, a mental error, where we see a single positive trait in someone and imagine the rest of their entire personality under that light. And most of the time this mistake happens with the people we trust the most. This video won't tell you about others. It will tell you why you automatically believe certain people. Think of the first moment you met someone. You know nothing yet, their past, their character, their dark spots. But something strange happens. A decision is already made in your brain. This is a good person. You don't do this consciously. You don't analyze it. You just feel it. And from that moment on, your mind stops trying to know them and starts interpreting them. When you see a human, three things happen. First comes the image, then the emotion, and finally the thought. But we think it's the opposite. We consider ourselves logical, saying, I'm a good judge of character. In reality, we make the decision first and manufacture the justification later. In the 1920s, psychologist Edward Thorndike noticed something strange about military officers. When commanders were asked to evaluate soldiers, the results were startling. Soldiers who were tall, handsome, and well-groomed were rated as more intelligent, disciplined, and reliable, even though their intelligence hadn't been tested. The mind was using a shortcut. If they look orderly, their character must be orderly too. Thorndike gave this a name, the halo effect. One trait casting a light over all other traits like a halo. But be careful. This isn't just about physical appearance. It's about the stories we tell. We don't know people. We create a story about them and then believe our own fiction. Has there been someone in your life where everything you thought you knew about them turned out to be wrong? Let me know in the comments. Think of a teacher. On the first day of class, a student who speaks well and is polite is instantly labeled as successful. From then on, a strange thing happens. Two students make the same mistake, but for the labeled student, it's failing to meet potential, while for the other, it's carelessness. The behavior is the same, but the interpretation changes based on that initial halo. The same happens in job interviews. Research shows that the outcome is largely determined in the first 90 seconds. Before the CV is discussed or skills are seen, the mind has made its choice. The remaining 40 minutes is just a confirmation process used to validate that initial decision, because the brain hates uncertainty. Uncertainty is danger. So the brain fills the gaps quickly, like believing the person with a calmer voice at the next table is more correct without even knowing the topic. Trust is manufactured from impressions, not information. The halo effect is most powerful in charisma. Charismatic people don't persuade. They remove your need to be persuaded. You don't look for evidence when listening to them. In one experiment, the same speech is shown to two groups. One group is told the speaker is a professor, the other a student. Those listening to the professor found the same words more intelligent and logical. The information is the same, but the halo created by status reinterprets the data. This is exactly why follower counts are mistaken for a proof of truth on social media today. A follower count isn't knowledge, it's a light source, and that light makes all flaws invisible. The halo effect takes its most dangerous form in romantic relationships, because here there is not only uncertainty but also desire, and desire bends perception. In studies, attractive faces are assumed to be more loyal and kind-hearted despite having zero data. The mind uses this shortcut. I like it, therefore it is good. Though it's just a feeling, it is experienced as reality. That feeling of I understand them so well at the beginning of a relationship is an illusion. You don't understand them, you complete them. You fill the unknown parts with your fantasies. The person you love isn't the human in front of you, but the perfect character your mind created. As the saying goes, you put the souls of your dreams into the bodies you like and call it love. That is the halo effect. Then small signals start to arrive, inconsistencies, hurtful behaviors, but the mind doesn't see them. It interprets them. They're busy, they're misunderstood. The halo effect doesn't just add good traits, it erases bad ones. When you've labeled someone good, your mind goes on the defensive to protect that choice. When friends warn you, you defend the person, not the facts. Because being wrong is a threat to the mind. Why? Why does the mind cling to the illusion instead of the truth? Because the brain evolved to survive, not to find the truth. In the Stone Age, taking time to analyze a predator was fatal. Making a quick decision was life. The brain learned, false alarms are cheap, late decisions are deadly. The halo effect is the byproduct of this ancient mechanism in a modern world. This is why charismatic serial killers could convince victims just by talking. Trust is born from impressions, not facts. The halo effect isn't about intelligence. In fact, those who think they are expert judges of character are often more prone to error because their high confidence reduces their questioning. When relationships end, you ask, how did I not see it? Actually, it was obvious from the start, but it wasn't seen. You weren't looking, you were interpreting. When the halo effect lifts, a new person doesn't emerge. For the first time, the real person becomes visible. The sentence, I never really knew them, actually means, I only thought I knew them. Think of someone you trust deeply. Remember the first moment they gave you that sense of trust. Actually, on that day, you knew nothing about them. You only had an impression, and perhaps, after that day, you never really checked, because you didn't feel the need. The mind had already decided. Maybe people don't change over time. Maybe we just take longer to see them. And perhaps the most unsettling question is this: how many people do you actually know